Survivor Specialist Phil and Will are back. Our episode 13 predictions, 12 predictions. We still don't know. I
12.
think
We're counting it
12.
as one episode. That's what Wikipedia says. That's what the Survivor Wikia says. So it's episode 12. That double hour was just episode 10. That was it.
Which is fun. It is what it is. This week, I do have my laptop back, so we will read your comments and everything. I can actually be a human again and hopefully not cut out. I watched the end of our last podcast. That was something. I'll tell you, those last 5 minutes were some of the most frustrating things I've ever listened to in my life. I don't know how people put up with us.
I didn't listen to it, but
it
was pretty brutal. You were just not there. I could hear you fine, everything you were saying. But yeah, we definitely need to work on getting some better internet. That's for sure.
For sure. Anyway, we're down to final 8. Jeff Probst has confirmed this is a double boot episode. It'll be a finale of 6 on the 14th.
The preview also confirmed it as well.
Yes. I did see the preview again. 2 immunity challenges. It looks like they have to do a vote off every single day until day 39. So this should be a lot of fun. I think they're already on day 34 or something like that. So here we are. We have our final 8. 4 Millennials, 4 Gen X, right?
Yeah,
4 Millennials, 4 Gen X.
Are we going to go to Rocks again? That's the question.
Oh, man. This is going to be a fun one. We got 1 idol left. We don't have 3. Adam played his last week. Didn't need to. David played his the week before. Didn't need to. So here we are. Final 8. Jay's the only one with an idol. And we got a double boot. So this power ranking should be fun. They should be quick, and they should probably be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually feel pretty good about mine because it is the episode before the finale. We can start looking and say, look, is this player really a finale player? And it's kind of hard to tell that sometimes because sometimes you have random people making finales and sometimes you have really terrible people making finales, which we covered extensively in our worst players ever to make a finale. So check that out if you haven't. But that's how I kind of gauge this. I started from the bottom and I'm like, I don't think this person is making a finale. So I started with the Will. I don't think Will is a finale player. I just don't. So I have Will at number 8. I know we're supposed to go from number 1, but that's kind of how my thought process went. I was like, I really don't feel good about Will. People have said he's not trustworthy. He keeps flipping. He had that secret scene with Hannah about his pendulum strategy, which was actually pretty good. I don't know if anyone else has seen the pendulum strategy. Phil, you're the one who told me to watch it. You should explain that for us, Phil.
Well, that's like kind of like a theory I've always had. If I were on Survivor, that would be the way that you'd want to play if you can pull it off. It's kind of what Sesternino did back in Amazon, where Will said his goal was, let's start here with Zeke, then we go David, then we come back and we get rid of Jay. And you get rid of the 3 power players by going back and forth until you've whittled down both sides. The problem is Will's not very subtle and people don't really trust him, so he can't really be the middleman. I think people like him, but I don't think he's as likable as you need to be able to pull off that strategy. It's a good plan.
That's what I'm saying. For a high school kid coming out, that is an amazing plan. The execution, though, that's where it gets tough.
Yeah, and as you've seen so far, he hasn't executed it. He did get rid of Zeke, but it wasn't because I don't think he's going to go and now be able to get rid of David. It looks like Adam's gunning for him based on the preview. It looks like everybody's going to be gunning for Will. I'm with you. I have him at 8. Like you said, we're supposed to start at number 1, but Will finally got his huge episode last week. And it was pretty much so that they could set him up to fail. So I feel like his story is over. He came out. He tried to make his big moves. He wasn't able to. He's probably going to go down swinging again this episode. But he thinks he's calling the shots. He's not calling the shots. Will's done.
Yeah, I cannot see a scenario where Will survives both of these episodes. Because if he survives the first one, then, I just don't understand how he's got – this isn't very well said. But – how do you let him keep going? Because if he is playing this game that he's announcing where he wants to make moves and he's still in the game, then he can sit there at the end and say, look, I'm 18 and I've told everyone how hard I'm playing and I'm putting together all these moves. So he will become a threat if he stands around, if he's going to play so hard. I think he will play himself so hard that he's out of the game, though. So I wouldn't want to sit next to Will, honestly, at the Final Tribal Council if he's just been, wheeling and dealing. So, yeah.
Well, I'll start with my number 1. I got Jay. I know this probably sounds a little crazy since it's double boot, but he's got the idol. It doesn't seem like he's going to be anybody's main target. It seems like they're either going to target David or they're going to target Will because of what Will did last week. And Jay has the idol And he's also the best. He's got the best chance to win these challenges. I mean, if you look at who's left, I know pretty much I know Ken won a challenge, Adam won a challenge, David won a challenge, Will won a challenge. But like the challenges here, they start to become like a little more based to like just like endurance and everything. And I feel like Jay endurance or they're like random balance things. It looks like one of these, they're like balancing tiles on like a pole. Like these are random things that I think Jay wins just because he's naturally quicker and probably has better hand-eye coordination than anybody left in the game. So I like Jay's chance to win in the challenge, and he has his idol. So like, why would he go? So he's my number one.
Yeah, I have Jay a little bit lower, which might be surprising. I still think he's going to win. He's my guy. I have Hannah at 1 and Ken at 2. I don't see how either of these players go. I've said, but I think 2 podcasts ago, I think they will be in the final 3, and I think they will both lose. They scream day 39 players. They scream finale players. I think they are also in good positions. They are, I guess, if there's not really a majority, it's kind of 4-on-4, but we've said this for the past 2 weeks now that like David's 4 of like Adam, David, Hannah, Ken, that's much more solid than whatever Zeke was throwing together. Scraping up Will, scraping up Jay, and then you have Brett and Sunday work kind of together. So I like Ken and Hannah's chances. They're also not very threatening. You look at what Ken did last week. That's someone you want to take to the end. So I don't know why anyone would target Ken. We've seen 2 idols played in the last 2 weeks. So people are like, all right, these idols are kind of they're done. We can actually vote out David, and guess what? He won't have an idol. So you don't have to target these side people. So, and of course, I think Hannah's playing a good game, and she's a social threat. But when you look at who's left, you just named everyone who's won an individual immunity. They are all still left in this game. So I think Hannah can slip by 2. So I got them at number 1, number 2.
Yeah, I have Ken at 2 and Hannah at 3. I just think they're so unthreatening at this moment. Like I feel like people are going to gun for Will. They might gun for Adam. They might gun for Brett. They're going to gun for David. They might even gun for Jay, but he's got the idol. I feel like Hannah's always been the target when it's like, well, they might have an idol.
Exactly.
It hasn't been because they don't. It's not because they want to get rid of Hannah because they think she's going to win or because they think she's some crazy threat or because they think she's a good player or because they even think she's threatening. They're trying to get rid of her just because they don't think she'll have an idol. And now they know David played his and they just saw Adam play his. I think they're pretty confident that Hannah doesn't have one and David doesn't have one. So if they can get the numbers, they're just going to vote for David. There's no reason to vote for Hannah.
Exactly. Total agreement there. I have Jay at number 3. Obviously, the only reason I don't have him number 1 is because it is a double boot episode. If he plays his idol in the first hour, then he's, has no protection in the second episode unless he wins immunity, which he could very likely do. So he is still pretty high in my rankings. I'm very, very confident that Jay makes it through both these episodes. He seems like an endgame player to me. He seems like a winner to me. Said that before. So yeah, those are the top 3. We have the same top 3.
Who do you have at 4?
At 4, I have David. This might seem high. Let me make sure. Do I have David? Yeah, I have David at 4. Might seem a little bit high, but I don't want to keep saying this, repeating myself. He's had such a big story. Like he's, I think, going to at least make the finale. And he has I've said again, he's got way more trustworthy allies. And he's also shown himself to be a pretty skilled player. He knows what's going on. If he needs to pull a vote, because it is 4-4, I think he's very capable of doing that. So I do like David's chances here, even though he doesn't have an idol. So might seem high, but got him at 4.
I have David at 5, and I don't know if this is more just like wishful thinking or what, but I have Adam at 4 and David at 5. And I know in the last podcast I had said that if anybody actually heard me on the last podcast, I know it was dreadful, but I know that I had said Adam's going to get blindsided by Jay. Jay's going to idol Adam out. I think Jay idles David out if he can idol somebody out. So I actually think Adam's okay. And I know it looks like he's going to target Will and he's going to be telling Brett that he's going to target Will. But I don't think anybody trusts Will. I feel like Will and Jay are kind of like on their own and Brett and Sunday are kind of on their own. It's not like Adam's going to say something to Brett and Brett's going to run right over and start talking to Will and be like, Will, did you hear what happened? Because
yeah, exactly.
We saw what happened the last 2 weeks where Will said something to Zeke and then everybody on the tribe knew. And then another time Will says something to Ken and then everybody on the tribe knew. So I don't think that Brett wants to say anything to Will because Will is saying things to everybody, which is causing a lot of drama around the camp. So I think that Adam's actually okay. And I think David's going to be okay. And this is really more of wishful thinking. I want all 5 of the players in my top 5 in this finale. If all 5 of them make the finale, this has potential to be the best finale ever because of how solid all of the players are. And I know we've talked about it enough now. Ken's not going to win this game. And Brett's not going to win this game. Sunday's not going to win this game. But, like, if you can get, let's say Brett and Ken are 2, and then you have Hannah, David, Jay, and Adam, and that's your finale, that's a pretty awesome finale. Like, that's pretty incredible to have that be your finale.
I think no matter what, we're in for, I mean, unless it's like,
Will, Brett, and Sunday all get in, and then it's Hannah, Ken, and Jay. It's like, okay, we know Jay's going to win. Maybe Hannah.
Right. Gotcha. I mean, I have Adam at 5, so I have the same top 5 as you. I guess the only thing we're going to have maybe flipped here is where we have Brett and Sunday. Let's see. Let me just double check. Yeah, I have Brett at 7, just right above Will, and then I have Sunday at 6. So we're pretty similar here. I think out of Sunday, Brett, and Will, I think 2 of those players are going this week, and I don't know which 2. I'm pretty sure Will be one, and then Brett. It could be Sunday. You start looking at Brett and Sunday, and you say, well, why would they be targeted right now? Aren't they great to take? You look at that jury, especially if you're looking at Sunday, you got Chris' vote for sure, maybe even Zeke's vote for sure. Same with Brett. Like, Brett's definitely getting Zeke and Chris. So they're starting to – it's not as much as the Millennials have, but they're starting to put numbers on the jury, the Gen Xers. So people might be wary of that.
And Sunday and Brett are very likable, and if Sunday and Brett sit down next to somebody like Ken, none of them really played the game that hard. All 3 are likable. I could see Brett or Sunday winning that. You know what I mean? And, like, you start saying things like that where it's like they could win. I know Adam's been a little shaky. Hannah's been a little shaky. David's been rubbing people the wrong way. You want – like, I think if you're Jay and you have your pick, you want to probably get rid of Brett and Sunday at some point. You know, not now because they are technically a part of your 4. But let's say you can get rid of David first, then I think you would want to go for like a Brett or something.
Yeah, I think if you're Jay, especially because you were on the Ikabula tribe with them for however many days. And so I think Jay, if he can put Brett and Sunday on the jury, that's going to help his winning chances if he can make it to the final tribal council. I mean, because he's got Michelle, he's got Taylor, give him Brett and Sunday. That's already 4. So, yeah.
I still can't believe all 5 of the Ikabula members are left in this game at Final 8. That's crazy to me.
It is pretty crazy, especially because that tribe did not get much screen time during that stage of the game.
Yeah, I know. And you know, you like always look at it like, you know, Beauty all got voted out like after in Kagayan, and then like all these. It's not because like they're teaming up to vote these people out. It's just been so crazy, and it's been bouncing back and forth that these 5 just have not really been targeted. It's really, really. I mean, Hannah's been targeted twice. Once she survives because of rocks. The next time she survived because Will flipped for really no reason. Really, really just crazy how the 5 of them are still sitting here at this point. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why I think some of them have to start going. And so Brett, Sunday, Will, I'm looking at you. I'm hoping it's 2 out of 3. Like you said, both we have the same top 5. We can get that top 5 in the finale. This could be like the best season. I've had so much fun with this season. I cannot say. It's been, I think, the most fun to podcast. Like these big moves and these rocks, and it's just like, it's been great. Let's kick it over to comments. Actually, before we get, did you finish your rankings? You finished them,
yeah,
right?
We both finished.
Okay. Before we get to comments, we have a special announcement, kind of a special announcement. We are making moves to get on to iTunes now and just become more professional and be a real podcast. Because right now we're just on YouTube, and it's kind of limiting on how you can listen. So we want to get it out there. We want to, increase viewership and listeners and all that stuff. So to do this, we are starting a Kickstarter campaign. I'm not sure how much we're trying to raise. It's not that crazy, but we want to buy microphones, 1 each, pretty nice microphones, so that you can hear our voices, we can record them. And so if the internet's bad, we can still edit it together with video software. Then we need to host the podcast on a website, probably get some sort of website. And then we also want to pay for better internet in our homes. So those are like the 4 things that we are trying to, we'll be trying to raise money for. Phil, is there anything else that we're trying to buy to make this podcast more legit?
I think that's really it. I mean, if you watch like last week's, like Will said to me after, he's like, if we do a Kickstarter like the week after this, everybody's gonna think that like we planned this. Like that's how bad the internet is though. Like it's annoying. And like we can't do anything. And we've been like that. I went and rewatched our finale predictions for Korong because I wanted to see how much I played up Michelle. And I can't even listen to myself. It's awful. Like it's terrible. And I never realized how bad it was until like right now. And I know we were also talking with with the website. We'd also like to put like some things up there, like when we do our season rankings and when we do our winner rankings and all of like those random episodes we do.
Like
It could be fun to keep track on there. Score the boot list, score the prop bet, this way everybody can actually see it as opposed to just taking my word at an Excel file. And like you can actually like look at it and like have fun with it during the season instead of hearing from us once every 3 weeks when we finally update the thing.
Right. And we don't have the Kickstarter thing ready. We're still having to work out the details and get it approved and everything. But if you could comment on what rewards you would like for donating. Right now you can get, I think, -5 points for your boot list score, 3 points added to your prop bet score. So those will be small donations and it can improve your fantasy game and chance of winning a buff. I think we're going to do like a buff where you buy it and it'll be a little bit more expensive than usual. And then we'll ship you a buff in advance. And then the highest one, I think, is you get to play the eliminator game with us. So each week you'll be in our eliminator game. And if you beat both of us, you will win a buff. And that will only be for a few people. It'll probably be, I don't know how much. But please let us know ideas. We don't have that much to really offer, except we want to get this on iTunes and have it be better quality. So definitely let us know. I don't know. We don't need to talk about this too much. We want to get in the comments. But
yeah, because we have to read so many because last week I literally got kicked off the internet.
Exactly. This is why we are doing this. So
yeah. All right. So I'm gonna kind of guess where we left off, and I'm gonna read the last comments, and then if you're watching live now, remember we don't read the chat. We only do the so comment on our recap video. We're gonna read all of those, and we still have to do some of the predictions ones, and I want to read most of these because I know a lot of people were like, we barely got halfway through. So anyway. I'm guessing. I think this might be where we left off. Anyway, the real Negro, if Adam sits in a final 3, he wins no doubt. I think him, Jay, and Ken are the big 3 to win. And although people might think everyone hates Ken for what he did, I saw no problem with it since Will has been seen to be a rat.
Yeah, I think the problem with Ken is that people know he has no game sense. And I think he's a really likable guy. It seems like he comes off a little bit arrogant with his kind of preachy vibes. But overall, I think people like him. That's not why I think he can't win. It's just his game sense. People are gamers in Modern Survivor. People want someone to win, to represent their season that like played really hard and like outlasted and outwitted everybody. And Ken's there. It's just, oh, he's a good guy. But come on. Like he literally ruined his own plan. And then said it was a test, like some BS like that. People don't want a winner like that. That's why I know Ken cannot win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't really disagree with too much of that at this point because I think you replace Ken with David, and that's your big 3 to win. I mean, we've talked about that so much, and I'm sure after this week, I honestly hope the 3, Jay, Adam, David, Ken, and Hannah are all still around because I don't think Ken can win. I know you don't think Ken can win. But at least then you have 5 people who like – at one point or another during the season were like front runners to win this game, or at least have made like Hannah's just had such a great comeback story. It's really been crazy.
Yeah, no, like we said, we want as many contenders in the finale as possible. We say that every season. It doesn't always happen. Like Worlds Apart, like San Juan del Sur. There's one player who can win heading into both of those finales.
Yep. Ricardo Hall, out of the 8 people left, who is your least favorite? Mine is Brett because he overreacts in Tribal and says that Chris was a big target, need to go, but want to take Zeke to the end. I'm saying Sunday just because we've seen so little of Sunday, and it has nothing to do with Sunday. It's just like I like Brett. Brett's a big over the top character. Yeah, he gets annoying sometimes, but he makes me laugh every time he's like on camera. He makes me laugh in some way, even if he's just being dumb at Tribal Council. Like Will, I like that Will's trying to play the game really hard. I get Sunday's trying to do things, but like we haven't seen any personality from her.
Right. I totally agree, and it's nothing against Sunday. It's just there's nothing to really get excited about.
Yeah. All right, Gregory Fuller. I think if Adam gets to the end, he will win because of his mother. His arc reminds me of Jeremy's arc from Second Chance. I honestly don't see how anyone could beat him if he gets to the end, if he brings up the mother situation.
Yeah, I don't even know if he would because, man, that's like – it's tough because if you're announcing you have a baby, like that's really happy and it's like I'm going to start a family and you're building something. If you're like what does it like $1 million contribute to his mom being ill? I'm just not. It doesn't fit like a baby does. You know what I mean? Are you kind of catching my drift? Where it might seem a little bit. People won't think he's lying, but people might be. You're telling us this so that we'll give you $1 million. How do the 2 and 2 go together?
Yeah, I feel like that it might be viewed as like if he says that people are viewing it as he's saying this just to get the money from us. But I could see him being like, "Look, I got here all the way to the end without ever bringing this up once." And I mean, if you say you want $1 million, it could be like so that I can help my family because my mother has stage 4 cancer. I mean, that works. I mean, there's no way that would.
Yeah, I could be kind of guilt tripping people though.
It could be, and I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he
and
wants to do it.
I don't think he will. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah. So I think Adam can, if he gets to the end, I think he'll be, definitely has a shot to win. I think the hardest part for him is just getting to the end. I don't see, if you're at final 5, final 6, why are you bringing Adam with you? I don't see why. I think he's like a 5th place finisher.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm really curious to see how this week goes because I was really worried about him after last week's episode that he would go this week. So I'm curious to see where he goes here. Ricardo Hull, if you had to pick a guy and a girl from each tribe, Millennials and Gen X, who would you pick to come back? I would pick Michelle and Adam for Millennials and Ken and Sunday for Gen X. I would probably go David and Jessica, and I would go Adam and Michaela. Yeah. I think those are the 4 for me. I like Zeke. I like Jay. I like Taylor. But, I don't know. I feel like I want to see.
I'd probably go Chris and Jessica because Chris, I think he didn't get a lot of story and edit, but he's a gamer. I think he's playing hard. And he kind of went out early merge. I can see why he was, shown the way he was shown. I think if he comes back, we can get something different from Chris. For David, I think we've seen David. We've seen his arc. I don't need to see David play again, even though I've enjoyed him a lot. He's been so much fun on TV. So I would go Chris and then Jessica, just kind of process of elimination with Jessica. And then I want to see, who can I see something different from?
I don't feel like the guys on Millennials you're going to see anything different from. Like, Zeke's still going to play aggressive. If Jay ever came back, he'd be a huge target, and he'd probably just be really nice to everybody and try to win challenges. Taylor would still come out and be kind of an idiot. I'd like to see Figgy play again.
I would say,
I'd like to see her play without Taylor.
Yeah.
But the guys, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, the Millennial guys. Did you go through all of them right there?
Well, Will. I didn't say Will, and I didn't say...
Maybe Will. I'd like to see Will play again in, 10 years.
Yeah, when he's actually like an adult and has had some time to let this sink in. I don't feel like anybody's taking him seriously right now, and I feel like if he was 23 or 24 years old, he could easily win this game.
Or 30.
Well, I mean, yeah, but damn, dude, that's a long time from now. He's only 18.
I know.
God. All right, let's see here. Wentz Acosta. Gamer Girl, would you two please clear up my confusion on Adam's idol play? Did he waste it or not? Because most of the votes were for Zeke anyway, though I am shocked that he didn't play it for himself. I don't think he wasted it. He clearly didn't need to use it, but I read a really interesting article, and I forget where it was, but somebody said Adam actually playing this idol makes it look like it was his big move and not Will's. You just took any chance of Will winning the game and kind of removed it by not letting him ever get this big move. And Adam offset that big move while also making sure that his 4 were guaranteed to get through that episode because he knew it was going to be Hannah.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't trust Will to vote with you. I wouldn't rely on that. That's too risky of a move. So I love that he played it. Just if the idol doesn't become necessary, I don't think it means you wasted it and it was the wrong play. It's like whoever plays fantasy football, you can start Antonio Brown over no name wide receiver, and then maybe Antonio Brown has a bad game that week, and this receiver out of nowhere puts up 20 points. It wasn't dumb of you to start Antonio Brown over that receiver. It just didn't work out that one time.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Well, very, very well done. Once Acosta, so there has to be a tribal every single day in order for this season to work, right? Day 33 Zeke, so 8 left. 34-7, 35-6, 36-5, 37-4, 38 determine the final 3, and then 39 is the final tribal council. And that's what is insane right now. This is the exact opposite of co-wrong. Like I said, I went back and I re-listened to our finale predictions. There were 4 people left on day 35. We have 8 people left on day 34.
Yeah, it's insane because they had that whole, vote out a jury member thing.
Yeah, and I mean, they also had 3 medevacs last season. Yeah. So it sped the game up, whereas here there were no medevacs, and actually if there was anything, it was probably delayed due to that first day being cut short because of the typhoon or
the cyclone.
Whatever it was, yeah. CVB, less confident about Jay's winner edit. Do you think Zeke's comment about winning the battle and David losing foreshadows David winning the war, which is the game, or was the war simply won by taking Zeke out?
I think it was a war between David and Zeke, so I think David certainly won that war. But I mean, I don't know. It really could be Jay or David. I could see either one. I don't think anyone's like clearly out ahead. I'm leaning towards Jay a little bit because I've always kind of felt that it's going to be a millennial too. Just because I think they're just more. Maybe it's just because their characters are more fun, and maybe I identify with the millennials more. But the Gen X camp, the Gen X tribe, was really kind of, I don't know, it's kind of down and boring a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think with Ken being left this late in the game and him saying don't underestimate the millennials, I think that says a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know. Wentz Acosta, holy crap, the editing revealed the Zeke boot. In the beginning when Jeff asked the usual who will be voted out tonight, editing showed a quick glimpse of Zeke. I mean, that happens all the time, though.
And they throw those in. They throw red herrings in there all the time. One of you will go home, and it pans to Adam. It's like, oh. Yeah,
exactly. Gamer Girl, fun fact, Adam is the third person to play an idol for someone. Oh, we already read that one, so that was good. It was Ozzy and Tyson who have also played idols while being immune. Mike Hirsch, we kind of covered that. Who do you think can return for another season? I mean, I think you're going to get a lot from this cast. Jeff pretty much said that if he could take this whole cast again and like have them play, he'd be fine with that. Like
this cast has been awesome.
Yeah. Wentz Acosta also is a lover of irony. I love the camera zooming in when Zeke told his dad, "I'll see you soon." Flame Badgers, Will going to win now? It's no. Flame Badger also says, I don't think Will is going home next because the preview is too obvious. The problem with that is he might not be the first boot, but it's a double boot. He's probably going to be the second boot then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's not long for this game.
Yeah. Giovanni Rihanna, is Brett similar to Jervis in terms of their tribal council performances? Jervis was a loudmouth during Blood vs. Water. I could see that. They're probably both very likable guys that you'd like to hang out with in the real world, but they get way too competitive and way too heated when they start to lose control.
Yeah, I like that comparison. That's a good one.
Yeah. Giovanni, again, do you think Will cracked because Jeff said he couldn't drink beer?
Yeah, that was it. That's what did him in. He was like, man, I want beer. I keep having to drink milk and soda.
It's just making me nauseous.
Yeah, if Will does stay into the finale, that's the only reason why I want him to be there. It's just so at every reward, they can be up and soft drinks for Will. And I
don't know if there's going to be another reward, though, because it's all immunities from here on out. They have to have an immunity challenge every single day.
That is true. Darn. Wow, no big – because usually there's like a nice big reward, like the final one. But no time. You're right.
No time.
Maybe they'll do like an in-camp reward like they've been doing. That saves time. They don't have to, fly anywhere or go on a boat.
Well, I mean, they would have to do 2 challenges in one day.
No, it could be reward and immunity in one. If you win, you get food and immunity. I don't know. I like reward challenges. That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Giovanni, do you like the metaphor David said about Will getting his license and driving him, Hannah, Adam, and Ken? It's probably true because he knows Will. Who knows if Will has a license?
I do. I thought that was hilarious. It's a perfect metaphor.
Yeah, I thought that was well done.
It's a TV writer move right there.
I was just going to say that. You beat me to it. Giovanni, I think I know of a way for Will to win. Go to the end with Brett and Sunday. The only problem is that their loyalties lie with Zeke, and now Zeke is gone. If Will wants to win, he has to go to them and work from there.
I don't think we're getting a Will Brett Sunday Final 3. Something tells me
that would be brutal. That would be a bad end to this season.
I mean, it wouldn't be brutal because I don't know who'd win out of those 3. Probably Brett, but it'd be close. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. AT&T, okay, I'm officially off the Ken train, and then they go on to say, "You've pleased me, and because of this, you've earned 2% of my approval." So I guess we're making our way, man. We're getting people to like us.
Wait, 2 more %, or we're
only
just
2? We're just at 2.
Oh man,
jeez, it's a long battle. Do you guys? This is AT&T. Do you guys think that the legacy advantage could be used in the following ways? So let's say it as on day 36, and they finish tribal voting off any remaining member, and then Jeff announces they'll have to vote off 1 more. But for this vote, Ken is immune, and guys that is what the advantage is. That could be interesting.
So we lose 3 people here, and then we have a 5-person finale.
That would be crazy.
I think in the preview it said 2 people voted off. So yeah, I don't think, and that's just That's too
That would be
much.
insane.
We are going to get to day 36, though, aren't we?
No, day 36 would be day 1 of the finale.
Where are we now? Zeke got voted
Day
out
30.
day 34. And then we're going to have a...
No, he got voted out on 33, I think.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. So not so he's okay. Let's see here. So I think that'll be kind of how that'll be like the first thing in the finale. Giovanni, is Will the best 18, 19, 20-year-old to play Survivor? I mean, I think so. Most of them come out and don't really try to do too much. He's tried.
What about Julia? I think Julia is a much better player than
Oh,
Will.
Julia was 19. That's right. Julia was great. I love Julia.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, then maybe Julia.
Wasn't Frosty pretty young also?
I
Wasn't
think
he
he was 21, though.
I think he was 20. He was good.
I don't think they had lowered the age yet. I think it wasn't until Token Chains that they lowered the age.
Gotcha.
I think. I could be wrong on that. CVB, I think after this episode, Ken actually might have a chance to win. Still not a great chance, but last week he had 0. I thought him talking about his daughter and the way he did makes me think he may win, although the whole situation later in the episode was odd. I don't know why they think he was betraying them. I'd say he's below David, Jane, Adam, who I think now has a good chance to win, and about tied with Hannah. I don't see how the other 3 can win.
Yeah, Ken. I mean, he had like no chance going into the episode because we haven't heard from him. And then, yeah, he had a nice little thing about his daughter, but that tells me he's like a finalist loser. Like, I think he'll be in the final 3 and he'll lose. I think he's a GOAT at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
He's the biggest GOAT out there.
I could see that. Jeff Steinberg, Will, do you know the season 34 females from this? Yeah, I mean, we both know now. But we're not going to scream it. I'm sure everybody knows. I know.
Yeah,
Will
I accidentally said it once,
but...
and I do apologize for that. If anybody was spoiled by it, it kind of slipped my tongue, and I tried to go as long as I could without finding out and just being online. It just happens. I still see comments on our videos that say who it is. So if you're still unspoiled, congrats to you for avoiding it.
Yeah.
And I apologize for letting that slip once. So.
Yeah. Giovanni, MVP Adam, by far his best episode since the merge. I hope he wins. He's such a great guy. I did not add up the MVP, LVP thing, so we might learn this on the fly here. Brian says Silas from Africa returning would be great. That was because I had said that he was considered Gen X in Africa, and he was lazy, and now he'd be considered a hard worker. So, yeah, that would be great. Bones J, this season is insane. Like I said before, almost as good as Kageon. The only difference, you had a bunch of little Tonys running around instead of the GOAT. This was such a great episode. It's similar to the Kageon merge episode. Zeke was so overhyped that he's kind of a disappointment. My guy Jay still going to win. This, though, dude, balls are getting bigger every time he doesn't play his idol. Even Chris said it in his extra interview. Will, you better not puss out. Keep that dude number 1 or else your king card gets I don't know. He's pretty much just saying you better make sure you keep sticking by Jay.
Oh, I'm sticking by Jay, and just because I don't have him number 1 by power rankings doesn't mean I don't think he's going to win. I'm just making sure Phil doesn't, have any chance at winning. So,
which I really don't.
Yeah.
Jeff Steinberg, knew Ken wasn't going home because they wouldn't have built up pre-merge if he didn't make the finale. He can't win, but he will make the finale or final
There
3.
you go. See, that's why they built him up. He's a finale player. That's the kind of thing I like to hear.
Yeah. Chloe Gale, why would Will risk his life in the game for Zeke by drawing rocks and then vote him off of the next tribal council? That was a horrible move.
Will was all over the place. I mean, he's like, I want to build trust with Zeke, and then he wants to vote out Zeke. I think his mom really did get to him. Like, he was like, man, I'm pretty far in this game. I have a chance at winning. I need to start, playing really hard and taking out the power players. So I think that's where it came from.
Yeah. I think you're right. And he has, everybody on this season's been kind of scatterbrained. The only one who really hasn't is Jay. Jay has not flipped back and forth. Except, you could claim the Michaela boot, but, he was never – it didn't seem like – we were never told that he was that tightly aligned with Michaela. Everybody else here has either, vote – and Ken obviously hasn't bounced around at all. But, everybody else here has, moved a little bit. In terms of who their vote. David's going all over the place. Adam has voted he voted off Figgy, which was the right move at the time, but he's still been shown to be, wishy-washy and always talking to everybody.
Hannah was with Zeke, and then she went to David.
Brett and Sunday, they kind of just like nestled in, but it doesn't seem like they're really solidified. Like they're just solidified together. They're not necessarily solidified on one spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Strawberry85, I have a lot of respect for Jay after this episode. He's my winner pick. AT&T, with all of Ken's talk of honor and integrity, he's kind of reminded me of Coach. Yeah, except Ken's a normal guy.
I don't know, man. Ken's kind of a weirdo a little bit.
But he's okay. When I
know he got
he's
bullied as a kid, but he's Coach is more out there, but there's a lot to Ken. I don't think I can, call Ken a normal guy with any confidence. There's a lot going on in Ken world.
In Ken world. Yeah, I mean that's fair. maybe I was wrong in saying he was normal. That's not exactly accurate. Let's see here. CVB, Rachel also revealed in her extra interview she voted for Sunday First Tribal Council because Ken told her they need to tighten up physically, and Ken votes for Rachel. This makes me think that maybe Ken has potential to win because they don't show him being dishonest like that. It's still a long shot, but still found that interesting.
Guys, Ken's not winning. I don't know if Ken wins, I do not know what I'll do.
Hopefully something cool.
Stop podcasting? Like that?
That wouldn't be cool.
I mean,
there's only a select few who want that, Will.
I know. It's just there's no way he wins.
Yeah. I read some of these D6 ones. Shay Renee, do you think Jay will ever flip on Will? Will has flipped on his alliance twice. Will Jay follow suit if the heat is too much under Will or use his idol on him?
I don't think Jay uses idol on anybody else but himself. They're getting too late in the game, and Will has proven to be not a reliable vote. If you're Jay last week and you hear that Will is telling Ken their plan, the only person who can be mad at that is Jay. Like, whoa, Will, we've been in this together. And Brett and Sunday, who cares? But Jay and them, Will have been tight. Will really broke Jay's trust, and Jay has no one to play it for but himself at this point.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Shay Renee, so does Adam get credit for Zeke's boot, or does Will try to claim it as his plan? I love how his idol play outshined his vote. Yeah. I think it's Adam's move more than Will's, honestly.
It's kind of funny. You could look at it both ways, where like if Adam doesn't play his idol, Zeke goes home, so you can say it's Will's move because Will voted that way, and if the idol wasn't played, then who cares? Then you could also say, if Will doesn't flip, then Zeke still goes home because Adam played the idol, so you need the idol. So there really is no one who can take full credit. It's evenly split.
Yeah, I just think that the idol play will always overshadow because people will just be like, see, Will, even when you make the move, nobody trusted you.
Yeah, and it's just more flashy, and it surprised everybody. I don't think anyone really thought Adam had an idol. He pulled it out from his crotch, which made it even more kind of lively. So
and I rewatched that ending again. None of them had any – you have to see Jay's face when Adam goes walking up with it. Like, none of them had any idea. Hannah didn't know. David didn't know. Ken even fist bumped Adam. Like, that's the most emotion we've ever seen from Ken at Tribal Council. He actually fist bumped him. Like, nobody had any idea that Adam had an idol.
And also, the last Zeke vote wasn't even read. So, not that they're back at camp saying, oh, we don't know if Will flipped or not. I think they do. But just when you show Hannah, right after she had the idol played for her by Adam, again, if you really want to break it down, it's equal credit, but who gets like the perceived credit? It's got to be Adam.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shay Renee, Jay has gotten votes before. Will is the only person who has not gotten votes. Yeah, Jay did get votes the first tribal. It was between him and Taylor. I think it was between him and Taylor, and he got votes. I misspoke when I said that, and I was pretty adamant about it. But he has gotten votes. But even at that tribal, he knew he knew enough that he was not actually going to be the target over Taylor that didn't even play.
Yeah, that was a vote split, and he wasn't the primary target. He hadn't been the primary target of a vote. That's fine to say.
Yeah. D6, no lie. Jay went up 10 notches in my book for inviting Adam on that trip. I agree with you, Philly. I am supporting Adam's idol play tonight. I think it's a bad move that no one except Jay is really working with Will. I mean, these are good points by D6 here. Nobody's actually working with Will, and every time Will tries to do anything, everybody kind of pushes him aside. And what he said to Jay, I think, is why Jay has such a great chance at winning this game.
Yeah, I think people are afraid of Will. If I'm in a tight core alliance and I go talk to Will, what is my alliance going to think? You know, when we get down to final 6, who do they want out first? Probably me, because guess who's on the jury? Will's on the jury, and I was talking to him and working with him and getting information. It's just when you have your like, it's kind of the buddy system with Rob. Like Rob in Redemption Island, and it was a boring season. He really cemented this idea, like have your buddy with you at all times. Don't even talk to the other alliance. If you talk to the other alliance, it shows that you're shady, and then you become threatening. So it's like that's what kind of happens with these alliances or trust clusters.
Yes. D6 Comedy. Why did no one throw Zeke under the bus about him throwing Will under the bus about Jay having an idol? I think you just hit it on the head. Nobody trusts Will, and everybody's scared of him.
Yeah, I don't want to work with Will. Yeah. I'm trying to. What was the question exactly for that?
Why did nobody throw Zeke under the bus after he told pretty much everybody about Will ratting on Jay?
I don't think Zeke needed to be thrown under the bus at that point. I mean, Will really going to change his mind at tribal council?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
No. And last comment from this video, D6 again. Sorry to not hear you guys ask me if Jay can win. Yes, I admit if Jay gets to the end, he can win. That's all we wanted to hear. That makes us feel good.
Yeah, there we are. And I can't wait. If Jay wins, I'm going to go read through all these comments that says he never has a chance right after that Michaela boot, and I'm going to love it. And we try to stay humble, but sometimes you gotta brag a little bit. But can't do it yet. Can't get ahead of myself. He could get booted this week. It's very possible. So we'll see. But I am excited. I mean, it's crazy. We have 2 boots and then a 2-hour finale or 3-hour finale with the reunion show. It's been a fun season. I'm stoked.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump over to Twitter before we go to this video's comments. I mean, we're probably gonna read comments for like another half hour, 45 minutes here. But anyway, Adam Heinritz, is there any opportunity for Jay to use the reward steal, or are they people left and 5 days left? See, I think there isn't. I don't think that he's ever going to – I don't think there's going to be just a strictly reward, and they're not going to let him steal a immunity, obviously.
There was a secret scene. It's Jay talking about Adam and their mutual respect, and Jay says he doesn't need it and he's not going to use it. He said that in there. That it was the gesture that he cared about, and he really respects Adam, and he thinks he now has Adam's respect, and they're both competitors. And man, for someone like me who really likes Jay and Adam as players in the game and characters, man, it was a good little secret scene. It's like 90 seconds long.
Yeah, I saw that. You sent that one over to me. It was a good one. Mel, it's been all season since we've heard from Mel. I don't know what happened to her and Ash, the twins. We haven't heard from either of them. But anyway, Mel, what do you all think about the theory that Adam threw the family reward challenge, and that was the best way to use his advantage?
Wait, he threw it?
There's been people who've been saying that he threw it. I don't think he threw it. I mean, he was stuck under that thing screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, I do not think he threw the challenge. I think he wanted to win so he wouldn't have to use it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Let me see here. Gamer Girl, does Adam give the reward steal to Jay, hurt or help Jay's game? Like you said in that secret scene, it's not going to do anything to his game because Jay's never going to use it. And I wouldn't be surprised if people don't even find out.
It's done in private, exactly. I don't think people are like, hey, Adam, he still has that advantage, or wow, he sucked up to Jay and gave it to him. And we just kind of realized that there are no more rewards. So it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they worked out how it should have worked out. Like, it didn't even get played and no one lost the reward, but the whole moment driven around that was really cool. So I think Survivor, it's like, wow, for not being used, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, and it's the same thing as like with the vote steal and with the double vote. They have not worked properly yet, but they've been fantastic every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So Gamer Girl again. If Will doesn't go home this week, do you think his days are numbered anyway? I mean, there's only 6 days left, but I don't see him making it through a double episode. We kind of talked about that a lot. Then Gamer Girl asked, did Wednesday's episode improve Adam's chance of breaking the curse of the first and last and winning? I think it did. That's obviously about the intro.
Improved it, but it's a long shot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still not a top 3 contender, I don't think, which is crazy. He's still like firmly at number 4.
Yeah.
And Curtis, actually no, he could be 3. He's not top 2. And Gamer Girl again, Jay's a mixture between Joey Amazing, Fabio, and Tyson to me, and I know Will is going to say that 2 of them are winners. Yeah, and the only one who wasn't is Joe because he was such a physical threat, and people aren't looking at Jay like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Giovanni, I do think Jay can win, but I think he's in the Malcolm spot where he's too good for his own good.
That's part of the – I mean, it's going to be tough for anyone. I mean, you got to win immunity at Final Four. That's what it comes down to.
You know what it is? You got to look at, though, Malcolm made a huge mistake at Final Four by saying to Denise pretty much like, well, you know, I don't know if I would take – like he made a huge mistake to not end up in that final try.
I think there was no way Malcolm was making it.
I'm just saying, like that got her off the hook.
But he thought it this way: if I win immunity, I want to be off the hook too. So
Yeah.
and that was the only way he was going to get to go to final tribal councils by winning immunity. So he's like, all right, that's my only way of getting there. So if I do get there, let me make sure I have Denise's vote and she's not pissed when I boot her. And that's what happened.
And
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think Jay will ever say something like that. Not that he really has any relationships with anybody that are going to matter nearly as much as that Denise Malcolm.
Exactly. Yeah.
T-Rex Survivor, of course, I decided to go Christmas shopping as your podcast begins. I mean, that's just poor time management, my friend. That's just poor time management. Christmas isn't for like 3 weeks. What are you doing? This is now.
Got to get the holiday deals, you know?
I guess. Giovanni, do you think Ken is a mix between Matthew minus the crazy stuff and Coach with his honor, loyalty, integrity? He is kind of reminding me of Matthew a bit.
A little bit. Matthew was way weirder, though. I love how you called Ken a normal person. And I'm like, no, he's a weirdo. And then they compare him to Matthew, and I'm like, oh, no. Matthew's much weirder.
But the thing with Matthew was he was quiet. He didn't really know how to play the game. He was always had a machete. He was always chopping stuff up. It's just Ken's doing it with coconuts. Everybody else thought Matthew was going to chop them up. So I guess that's a little different.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Giovanni, do you think there's an evolution of the idols? Russell was the first playing idol on someone else, and then Parvati did it. I mean, I think we're just going to see it all the time now. It's happening a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Gamer Girl, where was it confirmed the finale is the 14th? News CBS nor Redmond or anyone has confirmed it anywhere. My friend who works for CBS. And the fact that Big Brother starts, not Big Brother, Undercover Boss starts the 21st at 8 p.m.
I think it's been confirmed, right?
No, it hasn't. They have not actually said anything about it.
I mean, if they have on the schedule for the 21st a show at 8 p.m., then that's confirming it.
But for some reason, they haven't come out and said the Survivor finale is the 14th.
What about this? This is the only other thing I could see. We get 2 boots this week. We're down to 6. Then they do 1 boot the following Wednesday, the 14th.
And then
that Sunday is the finale, starting with 5 people.
I just don't know if they want to go up against the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think they do either, but it's a finale, so their fans are going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Giovanni, who's playing the game with the least flaws? I think the winner of this season will have some flaws like Tony.
Jay.
Yeah, probably Jay.
And again, it's someone like Jay who's going to come in to emerge and be one of the very early targets. And he could have made a mistake so many times by wasting his idol. He still has it at Final 8, and they merged at 13. Mm-hmm. What has he done wrong? He became – yeah, he hasn't betrayed anybody since Michaela. I mean, he was on the bottom when the merge hit, and, that's how it goes. And he was going to be on the bottom even if Michaela was with him. So I think he's
and guess what? Michaela's not even on the jury, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Unreal, huh? All right, here, let's see. We got –
You missed some comments on the recap, man.
I haven't gone to the recap yet. I have not gone to the recap yet.
Oh, the episode 11 recap?
Yeah, I have not done that yet.
Oh, my gosh. I thought you did YouTube already. Wow, we're going –
No, I did the predictions from YouTube that we didn't get to.
Oh, why did we read – okay. I mean –
Because, well, we said we would because we got cut off.
Oh, gotcha. Those are the okay, because we're one behind.
Yeah, because my thing got cut off.
Right, okay.
So I wanted to get to those because we would read those normally. So that's what I was saying. This could be a really long time, man. Giovanni, is this the best cast of players since Cagayan? I mean, I think yes. I think this might even be better than Cagayan. I think this is really one of my favorite casts of all time.
Yeah, because Cagayan, it was great, at the very top. But then you have people, Wu was fun.
Jeffra, Alexis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like yeah. I mean, well, I don't know. Lindsay quit. Cliff was like
Well,
Cliff.
what we haven't done yet is a cast ranking, and because this off season is so long, it's going to be March 8th, the premiere date of season 34. Maybe at some point we will do a cast ranking.
Yeah, that could be fun. Giovanni, would you get into a car with Will and let him drive you off somewhere? No, I wouldn't. It has nothing to do with his age. I don't know, man. I don't want him yelling at me like he was doing last week.
You have the audacity to get in the car with me and touch my stereo system?
Yeah, exactly.
That is not okay.
And then Giovanni says if Ken wins, he's the male Natalie White and more interesting than Natalie. I mean, I guess, but he was way more edited than Natalie.
Yeah, compare Ken's pre-merge to Natalie White's pre-merge.
Yeah, it's not even close. Who was Natalie White until the merge?
Yeah.
Harold writes, this is a weird comparison, but is Will the Harley Quinn getting abused by everyone except Jay, who is the Joker? Now I'm just imagining Jay and Will running off and like all happy and shit.
Hey, it's a crazy comparison, but I like it. I like it.
Yeah. All right, man. Now we're finally onto this video where we have 76 comments. So let's, if there's some double ups here, I might just like go by them real quick, but just because, we don't want to be too repetitive on this. Anyway, CVB, Jessica revealed in an exit interview she went to Rocks because at Final Tribal Council, people would criticize her for getting there because of David's idol, and she felt if she went to Rocks, she could say she did something to stay in the game and not take the easy route. In addition, I thought Ken's chances of winning improved this episode before they were 0. I felt the way he talked about her daughter, his daughter, means he could win.
I don't get where this Ken stuff's coming from. He has one line about his daughter that sets up a finale appearance, and people think he's suddenly can win after having like a terrible, terrible episode. People literally calling him a terrible player, ruined his alliance secret plan. That was literally Keith-esque. Like, it's like saying, oh, Keith said stick to the plan, but he says he likes Wes, so he's now a chance to win. No way.
I mean, I just think like it's more interesting the Jessica thing. That's what her reasoning was. I think that's more interesting.
Yeah.
A little more
I do like that reasoning from Jessica, actually, because we were saying that the whole time. Man, she got saved by David's idol. She should have been gone. How is she going to have a case to win this game? And that, I guess, would have improved it. But if anything, I think being the one to flip over is making a decision to save yourself and a more adamant move, not joining 5 other people who are doing the same thing as you. So I think the thinking is good, but if you want to stand out, be the one who flips. Don't be the one that goes to Rocks with everybody else.
Flips after the tie, people are going to be like, you were just scared.
No, it's taking your game into your own hands and saying, look, I don't want it to be me. That's it.
I think that
to go to Rocks with 5 other people, what are you doing to separate yourself? That's my question. If that was her goal and she wanted to like point at something that she did, then you flip. If you want to kind of stay under the radar and go along with the majority and the plan to go to Rocks with everybody else, then you stay.
Mm-hmm. No, those are good points. I don't know, man. I'm sure she regrets it now. That's for sure. CVB. Wait, we already read that one. Anyway. Brian J is in a great spot and getting a good edit, but I just don't want him to win. And then Brian says, also, Will voted with them in the end. So, like last week, 2 idols have been wasted, and will everyone know he flipped? It might be unclear to everyone. Will everyone know that Will flipped? It might be unclear to everyone. I think it'll be known because the one thing Survivor always does do is if there's an idol that's successfully played, they will read every single vote for that person. Everybody knows that only 4 were read.
You mean, oh, yeah, for Hannah, yeah.
Every single vote would have been read for Hannah. So there would have been a 5th one had Will voted for Hannah.
Didn't they only show 3 Hannah votes?
No, they showed 4.
Showed 4. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think people will figure it out at this point. CVB, for all those criticizing Ken and Jessica for asking if they're getting votes, Zeke did the same exact thing last week in asking Hannah. Even Hannah did it at Tribal. It's not only Ken who did it. CVB is a really big fan of Ken here, in case you haven't noticed.
What did someone else do that was the same as what Ken did last week?
Well, like asking like who's voting for whoever, but that was like mainly. Oh, I guess he's saying that Zeke did the same thing to Hannah when Ken like walked up to the whole group and was like, "So I hear Will's voting for whoever. I hear you guys are all voting for me." I don't know. It was a bad move no matter what. You can't really defend that one.
Yeah, Will, he didn't even ask where the votes were going. Will said they're writing your name down, and Ken couldn't believe it. He's like, "What? They want to boot me out?" Again, this is his not any kind of sense of game awareness that people are going to write your name down because you need to leave the game for people to win, and for them not to go home. So Ken went right up to Jay and ratted Will out. I don't think Zeke did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Zeke had that moment with Hannah at the water, but it wasn't quite that.
I mean, yeah, and Ken and Jay are not allies at all. Zeke and Hannah have been tight, and it was like Zeke trying to grasp Hannah before she goes to David ultimately. So the Ken going to Jay was out of nowhere.
Yeah. And actually interesting here, Sewell Henry says, only person I want to win is Jay. Hopefully it happens. To which CVB responds, I want him to win since day one. So I'm kind of surprised because they're defending Ken very much.
All these Jay people coming out of the woodwork. Where were they this whole time?
Well, they were scared. Nobody actually thought it was going to happen. Paintball V1. Do you guys think there's any way David can get to the final three if Jay is already in? I'm thinking of final three, Jay, Will, and Sunday, maybe replace Will with Brett or Hannah. Jay winning every vote and being another unanimous winner. Can Jay, if he makes it, steal Ken's? If he makes it, hidden advantage, you think? Or is that too OP? Love the content, guys. Keep up the good work. I don't think you're allowed to steal the legacy advantage. The legacy advantage is something completely different. That's not like a reward.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's not a reward.
Yeah. Dempsey Holloway, hope Adam wins after this episode. I'm glad people are finally coming around to Adam. A lot of people were hating on him for a little while there.
Yeah, he had a rough couple episodes at the merge, but he's found his footing. Again, I would say he's still a long shot. We'll see what happens this episode. I mean, if David goes or Jay goes and Adam has two big episodes, or I guess it's one episode, just a big hour, and he's looking really good, then hey, maybe Adam, that will have to be a story where he stumbled at the merge and kind of found out how to play the game and learn that way. See if they highlight any of those elements, something to look out for.
Brian, also, the last 5 minutes of this was so funny, and then Phil calls. Yeah, I mean, that was a great ending. Oh, brutal. Just absolutely brutal. That was about us. That was about our actual podcast. Brutal. Last one. Elite Brothers 885. It wouldn't have mattered if Adam played his idol on Hannah because Will flipped and they already had majority. So everybody thinks Adam made the move instead of Will. Will always talking about people stealing his show. Do you guys predict Adam will go home because of his mom, a blindside, or make it to the final three? It's either a blindside or the final three because nobody knows about his mom.
Yeah, I mean, I think he get blindsided this week somehow. But at this point, I think he's a finale player. He's going to go out at 6 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Rush Q8 here, and this would be great if Adam now wins because I love when people comment these things. Rush Q8, guys, honestly, tone down the delusion and Adam circle jerk. I had to type this while in driving in the rain, but really, I've been a loyal listener of your podcast, and it's the only Survivor podcast I listen to next to RHAP, but I'm kind of being turned off to the extreme bias, which results in wishful thinking and complete delusion. To even suggest that Adam is a huge threat and that David will be gunning for him ASAP is downright hilarious because he is and has been the biggest GOAT since the merge hit.
I don't know. If you're there and you look at who's around you, Adam, I mean, I could see why Adam could be a GOAT just from the trustworthiness standpoint, but if you can't watch the episode and say Adam is now more threatening than he was and he's going to be on people's radars, he whips an idol out of nowhere that no one knew, blindsided the jury, blindsided every other person. That makes him more threatening. He gave up his reward steal. He didn't give it up, but he was in front of everybody, says, I'm not going to use it. That everyone says, oh, Adam, what a nice guy. That makes him more threatening. If he wins immunity, that makes him more threatening. So there are all these things kind of coming together that all happened that 1 hour that made Adam suddenly, I think, kind of, boop, maybe he's not a GOAT. Maybe he's not. He's doing all these really positive things that someone I don't really want to sit next to.
Well, and that's the big thing here is it's not like we're sitting here saying Adam's going to win. I mean, we both still think Jay or David are the two front runners, and I still think Hannah probably has a better chance to win than Adam. It's not extreme delusion if you just point out what's happening in the episode and saying that improved the person's chances or now they're more of a threat or now they are actually a threat to win. We watch the episode and break it down. We're not just saying things to say things. And I think a lot of people do just say things to say things. And we have pretty good reasonings. When everybody said Jay is done, after the Michaela vote, me and Will were the only two people to actually defend that move and be like, no, this is why it's okay. And we defended it. And it might not have made sense to you at the time, but like we didn't just say it out of complete delusion.
And it still might not make sense, and we could still be wrong, but at least we had provided some reasoning for it.
Yeah, we're not just saying words to say words.
Right. Well, sometimes we do that, but most of the time.
Yeah, like when I say Michelle's the best winner of all time. See, that's words to say words. Let's see here. Michael Feeney, Jay got votes when Taylor left. Yeah, I know. I caught on. My bad. Giovanni Oriana, Will, his name, HB, which stands for Honey Bunny or something. Hopefully, Suri gets far enough so we can see him again.
Yeah, HB. I love HB.
He was great. Cindy M, did anyone see Bigfoot around the 18-minute mark? So that is now Doug's nickname officially. He just went strolling on by. That is the real Bigfoot. Will keeps beef jerky in his kitchen over there, and yeah, that's the real Bigfoot. It's here in LA. Gamer Girl, I was not laughing when Adam was stuck under the log. I think he was really stuck. I was more worried about how he was going to get unstuck. I'm sure they had to come out and put something, grease him up to get him out of there.
You just saw the log and just lift it up.
Jesus, that was brutal.
You don't go through that.
You got to go backwards. You got to go on your back.
Yes, you got to go back first. If you go back first, your bum isn't sticking up. You can shrink your stomach, Well, the thing is, too, you can
bend over and touch your toes. You can't bend over and touch your heels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're bending around the log more naturally when you go in on your back. Whereas if you go in on your front, you're going down and then you're trying to come up, and your body's not supposed to bend that way.
Yeah. Definitely got to go on your back.
It's all right. Gamer Girl, Ken's now like Colby to me. Pre-merge Ken is like pre-heroes versus villains Colby. They're both awesome and likable. Merge Ken is like heroes versus villain Colby, where they're both boring. I also think Will is like Albert, where he attempts to make big moves and they fail. I disagree with that because Albert talked like he was going to try to make big moves, but he never actually did try to make big moves.
There you go. Yeah, I agree.
So I keep clicking the wrong one. Gamer Girl, you did hear from me, Will. There's no way I would never not leave a comment. Yeah, this was at the end of your last one. You said, did we hear from Gamer Girl? I was trying to yell at you that we did, but that's exactly when I got cut off. That's why I had to call you.
There's a lot of comments. There's a lot going on. Don't always keep it straight.
Twisty Pops, is Sunday back to having no chance of winning? What was with the funny episode she had a few weeks ago? And then CVB says, I don't think Sunday ever really had a chance of winning. There may have been a tiny, tiny chance in that episode. Taylor went home due to her confessional about changing the game. But that quickly disputed the next episode and even more this episode.
Yeah, she has no chance. I think that was just trying to show that Jessica was kind of in the mix to go home. And so when she gets rocked out, it's not completely out of nowhere and the viewers feel robbed. Oh, man. If Jessica had gone home and was getting all positive stuff, the viewers would be mad. The audience would be mad. They'd be mad at the rules of this show that allows that to happen. If you paint Jessica as a threat and someone that's on people's radars and might go home anyway, people are more open to rocks and, having someone go home in that fashion.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Let's see here. We got Twisty Pops. What do you think of the secret scene of Willem's pendulum strategy? Interesting that his strategy was to get rid of Zeke, as he did, and then flip to get rid of David, and then flip back to get rid of Jay. Do you think that could work? I think that could definitely work on this show.
We talked about that, right?
Yeah, you just need to do it right. And it is an interesting thing for Will to come out there and think about. Twisty Pops, what do you think of Chris's resentment towards Zeke and Ponderosa?
Yeah, that was weird.
I wasn't that surprised because I think Chris and Zeke actually did have a real connection. And it's almost like when Grant was so furious at Boston Rob at that reunion. And you sit there and you're like, Grant, stop being a baby. But I think when you're being told one thing and then you watch that person kind of make an ass out of you on TV, you get a little hurt by it.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't think Chris was that type of person, but I was wrong. I thought Chris,
it was great how Zeke called him out too. And was like, I didn't think I'd get this from you.
Yeah, he played, he's a college football player. It's competitive. I think if you're a game, I don't know. It's so hard because we've never been in that position. But if someone voted me out and I was best friends with them and they blindsided me, I would be angry. I'd be mad in probably the first day. And then I'd kind of get over it. And then they come back and be like, what's up, man? Bummed you didn't make it to the end. I would have voted for you.
Yeah.
At least that's how I think I would handle it. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take into perspective it's a game. I know this is like a huge high stakes game, but it is a game in the end of everything, you know. So I think that's how I would be too. I don't know. CVB, I feel like Zeke is more like a Cass than a Russell. Russell appears to live his life and act the same way outside the game as he did in the game. He still refused to give Natalie or Sandra any credit, continues to bash people on his Twitter. I feel like people like Zeke and Cass are actually nice people outside the game. They're just villains inside the game. I don't even think Zeke was that much of a villain. He's nowhere near like Cass levels of villain.
Oh, yeah, not at all. I mean, he was like playing hard, but well, yeah, what did he do that was so bad?
What do you think about Zeke lying about his profession? Because if you've been watching Ponderosa, everybody so far, Jessica, Chris, and now Zeke, have all lied about their professions. And Jessica and Zeke were both lawyers. Or Jessica and Chris were both lawyers. What do you think about Zeke lying about his profession and lying that he didn't go to Harvard, instead went to NYU, which is still a pretty damn good school?
Yeah, I think he just wanted to come off as like more of an artist. What did he say he did? I don't even know.
He said he was like a photographer or something.
That was Jessica.
That was Jessica. What did he say he was?
I thought maybe like life coach or something. I don't know, something weird.
I forget what he said. I just remember it also led to Michelle having like the line of like Ponderosa, which was great.
I mean, it is funny though how everyone lies about their jobs. Like we have Brett, you know, he'll come back and he'll say, "I'm a cop," you know.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Yeah, like they're all going to get in there and just be like lying. And like I thought it was great when Michelle's just like, "Yeah, by the way, I'm not a missionary. I'm a prostitute." And it's like, that's just gold. Like
that was really funny.
And Chris is like, "Yeah, the way you were dancing," and it was just hilarious. Like they're all getting along, even at this Ponderosa, where like none of these people were really aligned. Like I get Taylor and Michelle where they weren't that close. Chris and Jessica were at each other's throats. Zeke never really fit in. Like these five. It's so unique because they're not part of an alliance. It's not like they're an alliance that got voted out, or it's not even like they were on complete opposite sides. This is a pretty random bunch of five, and they all seem like they're getting along.
Clusters. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here. ZVP, unaddressed reason why I think Jay will win. Jeff pushed the theme of this season so hard, and the only person who seems to have mentioned it past the first, maybe second episode is Jay on 4 separate occasions. Episode 4, a very oddly placed confessional during goat hunting, where he talks about how Gen Xers want XYZ while millennials are more free-spirited. Episode 5, Jay mentions in a confessional that he built most of the tribe's shelter while the Gen Xers on his tribe didn't do anything. Episode 6, during the idol hunt, Jay talks about how he's worked hard to support his family despite saying the millennials don't work hard, and says he will win. Episode 8, Jay says at Tribal he's not just some dumb surfer dude. All the while it's being shown Jay's a funny guy. I can see Jeff at the reunion saying, "So we've seen that while millennials are more free-spirited, they also work hard." David's only mention was talking highly about Gen Xers and criticizing millennials' work ethics at the beginning of episode 1, and I don't think Hannah has ever mentioned the theme.
Hey, I'm on board. I've been looking at that stuff. That's kind of why I've had Jay, you know, I obviously didn't know that preseason, but hey, those are all things you hear those things like, hey, he kind of seems like a winner to me.
Yeah. CB1504 gave us a quote that he loved of, "It sucks that Ken has no game awareness and can't keep his mouth shut." We're good sometimes.
Who said that? Did I say that?
I think it was you. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It sounds like something we both say at the same time.
I was hard on him pre-merge when everyone else was fawning over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which was just obnoxious. You should have loved the guy just like everybody else. Gamer Girl, that ending is pure comedy gold, especially when Phil calls in the moment. Will is done saying, "Phil, do you have anything else?" And Will's face during the call, all priceless. I can't stop playing that ending.
Wow.
Maybe that ended up being like our finest moment.
Yeah, maybe we need more bad internet. You know, screw this Kickstarter thing, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, this is working so far, and I don't really know how to act. I'm, like, almost bored. KL Rain, I think this is a new commenter. I don't think that Adam will get idled out by Jay next episode because, like you said, I don't think he'll play it for anyone else, and it looks like they're targeting Will, not Jay. I think Will or Ken is screwed for next week because they both got confessionals out of nowhere. I think Adam may actually flip on David at some point, possibly working with Jay to get him out before Final 3, but who knows? My favorite season in recent memory, this cast is top-notch.
It's a lot. I agree with a lot, except I don't think Ken's in danger. His confessionals were about the legacy advantage, which was necessary, and they were about the whole fiasco pre-tribal council, which were necessary to the vote in the story. So you couldn't really hide those. So I don't think Ken's in any danger. I do think Will is certainly in danger, though. That's why I have him at number 8 in my power rankings.
Mm-hmm. Jake Trinex, what do you guys think would happen at a 3-3-3 tie for the winner? Well, we can't get that this season because there's going to be 10 people on the jury. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
maybe. Yeah, have we ever had a final 3 with 9 before? They usually do 8.
I think they might have done 9 before, but I'm not sure.
With Jeremy, maybe, or was that 10? I think that was 10.
That might have been 10. I'm not sure. Yeah, because that was 10 because I remember us thinking it could have been 5-5 Spencer and Jeremy. We were naive. Kelly M. A David win would ruin what I consider to be one of the best seasons ever. That whole alliance is pretty annoying. Ken is outright stupid when it comes to Survivor. I want to root for Adam, but I simply can't root for a disgusting Burlingame Panther. Go Dubs, go Cardinal. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like that's like a San Francisco thing.
I think that's a high school.
High school, like wherever they went to high school. Yeah, I don't know. MKW Hacker 100. Personally love this episode. Jay and Adam both had very positive episodes. When Jay kept saying that he loved and hated Adam at the same time, I showed at Tribal Council. While Adam played his idol, there was a look on Jay's face that showed anger and amazement, and he truly loved and hated the idol play. I'm telling you, that face was
that's good. That was a good little analysis right there.
Yeah. I love that analysis. I'm glad that they picked up on that face that Jay made, because that face was just like he was in absolute shock.
Yeah, I said it's great. What do you?
Sorry. No, the thing is, like, I'm not looking at you because I'm on the thing, so I didn't know if you were about to talk. I don't know if there's like a second delay or something. Sorry. Brendan McCarthy, Jay wins this, becomes a top 3 season. Will is a genius. How does that make you feel? Somebody calling you a genius? Because I know your ego's already huge.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, so let's we can save that one for later. But I mean, come on, it's hard to deny if it does happen.
I wouldn't want to be Bigfoot living with you if Jay does win, because you'll be real high on yourself.
So I think that's also why I like the season more, like so much, is because I'm like way more invested in my Jay pick than I've been in any other winner pick before. Like with Jeremy, I picked Jeremy preseason. And he went on, and no one really was like, okay, he's going to win. I didn't really care. I kind of wanted Spencer to win by the end because it was just Jeremy was kind of, I don't know, he wasn't that exciting. But this, like, everyone saying Jay can't win and, you know, being called an idiot for defending him, like, it just gets me so, like, I really want Jay to pull this one through because of that. And I don't think I've ever rooted so hard for somebody. And not even, I like Adam more than like Jay, but just because of this podcast and the, you know, the Phil and Will commenters and everything, I become so like, I so want Jay to win, and I haven't felt this way about, you know, a finale or 2 episodes out of the finale in a really long time.
That's how I felt all last year, man.
It makes me happy. It really makes the season more fun to watch when you have like this, you know, interest above just your preference. So
it's phenomenal. And I went back and re-listened to that finale predictions on Friday at work. And I was sending Will quotes from Will of him telling me that there's no way Michelle can win. And, like, I'm calling spot on. Like, Jason and Scott are both going to vote Michelle. And Will's like, no way. Like, that's not going to happen. There's no way. And all the commenters like, no way. That's not going to happen. And I just kept on going with it and kept on going with it. And it makes it a lot of fun because, like I said earlier, when you can defend the point – you know, as long as you're not just saying it and then you just don't defend it, then it's like, okay, yeah, that's not right. But like, you're defending the Jay thing.
Well, 2 things here. I did say if it's Aubrey and Michelle, Aubrey's gonna smoke Michelle. That's what I didn't say Michelle could never win. I always thought Michelle, like, she could have gotten the final job of council without Aubrey, and I thought she would win. I thought there was a chance of that happening. And then your original Michelle pick, and there's a video, we tweeted this out a while ago. I think it was definitely before this season. And it's you first making Michelle as your official winner pick for Korong, and you're like, I have no idea. And you just have no really reasoning, and it was just on vibes. But at least that's you know, at least you got it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and it felt really good. Let's see here. Kuniochi Forever 4. I believe Stephen F. talked about wanting resume around this time too. I mean, that's just like a thing. It just hits people at this point. Energizer 61 Bunny. I love you, Will, but I don't find this episode anywhere close to last one. I feel like it's the Adam bias talking, but then again, nothing wrong with that. It was awesome to see an Adam-focused episode where he comes out on top. Also, I do think Jay is a strong contender, but I can't help but still feel this is all David's story.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of people get like journey arcs and like nice stories and come to themselves and then fall short, though. So we got to watch out for that type of, you know, that could be where we're going with David, but he's definitely can win also because he has been really focused on a lot during the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kyle Stone, so what's up with Zeke? I expected him to go a lot further in this game, have more of an impact given all the preseason hype, especially from pro-ups. Not saying I didn't enjoy Zeke, because I was rooting for him and I'm looking forward to him returning, but did he really do anything?
Whoa!
He can. Oh God, I read that, dude. See, I'm in a zone here. Oh, that's a spoiler. Anyway, did he do anything to be considered a game changer? We already got there now. That's what happens. I just read it. We need we were talking about this earlier. We need the stat boy or the
comment curator who can make sure we don't read duplicates. I mean, how many times have we heard that Will didn't actually need to flip because of who get a lot of comments about that. A lot of people telling you were wrong about Jay not getting votes. So maybe we do need a comment curator, and maybe there's a volunteer who wants to help us curate comments. I don't know,
man. Maybe I have no idea. Kyle Stone, I could definitely see Adam winning after this episode. And then CVB says, something that makes me think David may not win. Hopefully Jay wins. Outside of the game, we really don't know who David is, other than he worked hard to be a television writer. His confessionals are all oriented towards the game.
Yeah, it's pretty true. I think we did get stuff early, though, about his anxiety as a kid and his paranoia. We got a good bit of him, finding himself and learning that he can do anything when he wanted to sit out the reward challenge. And they're like, no, David, you can do it. And he's has so much support. I think we've gotten a lot of personal stuff from David. I don't want to say it's just about the game.
I would say, though, it's kind of interesting. We don't know what David's family life, personal, that type of stuff. I get what they're saying. Jay had
I get that part.
Survive for his mother and his sister. And David, we're not really getting that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I think it's going to be Jay.
Let's see here. The Real Negro. What do you guys prefer, Coach's cult or Zeke's mob? Oh man, Zeke's. I mean, both seasons are super entertaining because, but Zeke was actually a leader of this. He was a real mobster in this season.
Yeah, but it was very short lasted. Coach's people. They were on a tribe and there was no swap, and then they merged. And Zeke, Brett and Sunday came together for 2 votes.
Yeah. The Real Negro, can't wait to hear your guys' new season rankings. I've watched all your ranking videos so many times it never gets old. Also, it'd be cool to hear you guys consider the best and worst runner-ups. Who do you guys think is the best, Ozzy or Rob? As much as I hate to say it, I'd have to say Rob. I would say Ozzy in that situation. We are going to do new season rankings, and there's probably going to be a bunch of...
Rob wasn't a runner-up.
Yeah, he was.
Which Rob?
Did you watch All-Stars?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Sesternino.
No. But we are going to do a new season rankings in the off season. I know that's one of the things we want to do. And there's probably going to be contradictions because now we've actually talked about Survivor so much that my opinions on seasons have changed so much. Because I find I get tired of talking about certain things that I used to like to talk about, and it's really affected those seasons.
And we're going to hear from Alexa too, so that will be fun to get new blood into the rankings.
Who is binging hard right now because she's even younger than Will and I. And so she is binging hard on these early seasons to get a better recollection of everything that happened. And she has watched 9 seasons in 3 weeks.
I don't know what I did that. I did that one summer. It is so much fun.
I don't know what that says about, one summer. Alexa's working 2 jobs right now. What's going on, Alexa? Jeez. Anyway, the Real Negro, with this great season coming to an end and game changers coming up, I still can't come up with any moves so-called game changers made. Jeff expects me to tell my kids in 10 years, hey, kids, these guys changed Survivor. I think that's funny that you're worried about what you're going to tell your kids in 10 years about Survivor. That's cool. I hope you're telling them a lot about it. Hopefully you mention us.
Yeah, I listened to Phil and Will. Check them out.
Yeah. I love that. It's going to be Mom, what season of Survivor should I watch? Don't go watch the season. Go watch Phil and Will. That would be nice, that.
Or only watch from Worlds Apart to however long the show goes for, because then you can listen to a recap after each episode.
Yeah. God, that'd be fun. The Real Negro, I think I have a theory on Ken's advantage. I know this sounds crazy, but what if it's a guaranteed spot in the final 3? I can just see something called a legacy advantage, having just an advantage in a challenge. What are your guys' thoughts? There's no way they're doing that.
That's too powerful. I guarantee. That's winning immunity. That's too much.
And the last one by the Real Negro here, do you guys think season starting at 16, 18, or 20 players, which do you like more? My pick is 18 because it's not too much. I feel 16 goes way too fast and 20 rushes the game and hides players. I think it just depends on the editing. This season had 20, and this is probably one of the best edited seasons ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go 18 also if I had to pick one, because 18 you can do 9 on 9. You can do 6, 6, 6. I guess 9 on 9 is a little tricky because it's not male, female, even. But
Well, Vanuatu did that though.
no, you'd have to either go all male or all female. You can't go 5, 4, 4, 5. I mean, you could, but I don't. I mean, they were going to do that in Fiji, and then how about 19? Who likes 19 as a start?
That was great. The only season that ever happened was terrible. So yeah, we'll go with that one. All right, here. Austin Ketchum. Jay can win. I just hate him. He won't. He just won Adam's vote if he's not in the finals. I hope Adam wins my power rankings for top 3. Go Jay, David, Adam. Interesting. Austin Ketchum again. What you forget about David and Adam is Hannah and David always talk, and Hannah and Adam are each other's number 1 alliance member. If David flips on Hannah or Adam, it'll be a move against both of them in his own alliance. I think a snowball has a better chance in hell than your David versus Adam theory.
It's going to happen eventually, though. I mean, one of them has to. They're going to have. They're not. I don't think Adam and David are both going to be sitting at the finals, and I don't think it's going to happen now. We have 2 boots this week. It could easily happen this week, or it could happen. The first hour of the finale. I've said all night, or all whatever time it is, all afternoon, that I think Adam will go out in 6th or 5th place. That's my best guess. Mm-hmm. And to do that, I think with my other predictions are correct, in which I think we'll get some combination of Will, Brett, and Sunday going this week. David's going to have to participate in that Adam vote.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's going to be interesting to see how Adam eventually goes. And to me, it's going to be interesting with Adam, David, and Jay all being built up so much, having a confessional in every single episode. What's going to be interesting to me is which one gets 4th, which one makes the finale, and what happens to the other one. Or which one makes the final 3 and what happens to the other one. Because a lot of times when you get down to this, I know we just lost Zeke. I don't feel like we're going to lose any of those 3 in this episode coming up. If they all make the finale, like we've never seen so heavily edited, are 2 of them going to make the final 3? I don't know where to place the 3rd of those 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be also fun to do, our finale predictions, which it's one of the best podcasts I think that we do each year, where we actually go through jury member by jury member in every scenario, and it takes a while, and it's a lot of comments come in, but it's usually a really fun podcast. So I'm looking forward to doing that one.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Loki Lokinen, your latest podcasts have been on point, best Survivor podcast at the moment. And yes, I listen R-Hop and ST. Thanks, man. That means a lot. We like to hear that.
That's why we're getting on iTunes,
Exactly. That's why we want to keep getting bigger here. Loki Lokinen, I'd love Jay to win too, but since people have voted out Zeke and Chris, won't they know to get rid of him too? There's so many threats though. And Jay is just, I don't know how his name's not coming up.
Even if it does, he's got the idol, and he can win immunity. Yeah. I'm not sitting here thinking Jay's not on anybody's radar. He absolutely is. He just has the physical ability and the idol. Those are 2 tools that can really help you when it's already final 8. And if he can, have some strategic plays and moves and, social awareness, game awareness, all these things, which I think he has, and he can spin the vote on Will. If he can spin the vote onto Sunday somehow, maybe convince everyone that Sunday is this huge threat and she's a mom and there's Gen Xers over on the jury. I mean, we'll have to see what he does, but at this point, I think it's very possible.
Yeah. It's going to be, I don't know, this finale, like I said, if we can get those 4 or 5 in, it's going to be so interesting to hear what each one does to differentiate themselves from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Keith Nails Tuck Tuck. Hey guys, new subscriber here. I think what I love most about the season is how many different winner contenders there are, and they change pretty much every episode. However, I think David is clearly the top contender at this point. My question would be, if you had to give everyone a percentage, what would their chances of winning, or what would they be? For example, David 75%, Jay 15%, Sunday 0. We do this a lot in the finale predictions. But right
now I'm gonna put it at. But then this is what's going to happen, right? I'm going to say my percentages, and then however much percentage I don't give to Jay is that I'm going to get ripped on when he wins. And it's like, oh, he wasn't your full winner pick. You only said 70%. You only said 60%. So I don't know if we want to go down this road. I guess I can put it maybe like 65% Jay, 30% David, and then 5% Hannah.
Yeah, I'm like close on that. I would give Adam something though.
I don't think Adam's winning, man.
We'll do this one on the predictions, on the finale predictions.
Yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, maybe okay. I'd take a little bit from Jay, knock Jay down to 60, and then give Adam 5.
Okay.
So it's 60, 30, 5, 5.
Okay. Jay Connelly, granted, I think will this episode will be Lucy. Will anyone try to blindside Jay so he doesn't use his idol, or is he on no one's radar? I mean, we kind of just covered that. I don't think he's even on radars right now.
I think he totally is.
I think he's on radars, but he's just, I don't know. He's on radars, but like for some reason he's not a main target. And I think people.
Well, it was the David and Zeke battle the week before and then last week, it was everyone wanted a gun for Zeke, and it was all about Will in the middle. And if you're going to take out Jay or Zeke, people felt Zeke is the more threatening player. Zeke is now gone. I think there'll be a lot of talk about getting Jay off in this, next hour here, especially because he still has an idol. So people are going to be like, how do we got to flush it? We got to make him play it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like that.
Yeah. Gamer Girl, do you think any jury member will give us the David Murphy, Eric Cardona, Spencer speech telling the jury to vote for the obvious winner? There's an obvious winner in the final 3.
It seems pretty common these days.
But I don't know this season because I think they all respect each other enough that they won't do something like that.
I don't know. I could see like Taylor going up there and be like, "You got to vote for my man Jay."
And no one's going to listen to that.
I don't know.
That would hurt Jay.
Yeah, it probably would hurt Jay. Jessica changed her vote.
Yeah, exactly. Logan Gelfand, who can Hannah beat in the final 3? I can't see her winning. I mean, she can beat Brett. She can beat Sunday. I think she can even beat Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gamer Girl, Will, like that, I'm no longer mixed on Jay. I now like Jay. I'm officially on board the Jay train. I think I might be falling under Jay's hypnotic charm, but Ken will most likely replace Jay and move down to the mixed neutral section. What happened to pre-merge Ken? I'd rather see pre-merge Ken over this boring Ken who tells people things he isn't supposed to tell them. We beat that to death. We don't know. Gregory Fuller, if Adam gets to the end, I think he will win in a landslide if he brought up his mother at the final tribal council, like how Jeremy brought up his wife was pregnant. Kind of talked about that too. I don't think he's going to do it, and I don't think it would work.
And I don't think he's making final tribal council.
Let's Anderson Fraser. Don't count out Will yet. He's playing the game hard and has already proven he can win challenges, but still pulling for Adam. Jeff Steinberg, who will win Jay. No question right now. Adam's a long shot. They will never let David get to the end. Hannah isn't edited well enough. God, this is fun. Austin Ketchum, Will again with a bad read. I think you underestimated Ken's target on the back for spilling on the move last episode. Adam and Hannah won't trust him anymore. There's no way. Adam and Hannah are definitely trusting Ken. They have to. He's not going to lie to them.
Yeah, wait, what's the bad read? I'm confused.
I don't know. I think he's saying that you're saying like Ken wouldn't have a target on his back. Adam and Hannah are not voting out Ken.
Ken's a goat. Ken's the biggest goat left on that darn tribe right now. And if you think otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. He's like, I just don't know what to say. He's a goat.
Yeah. Gamer Girl, I don't want David to be idled out this week. This is the reason why I don't want the power players going back to back thing to happen this season. It ruined Sam Wandel Surf for me. Also, a filmable Facebook page or a professional Facebook accounts, please.
Yeah, we got to do that. That will be part of
everything.
The plan once we get our website up and get on iTunes and have microphones, and we're gonna try to do this thing the right way and do it big. And hopefully we'll have the Kickstarter link for our recap on Wednesday. So.
Boosh Bear, question: did you guys watch Michelle and Zeke do shots at Ponderosa? If so, did you live for it? Also, I love you, Phil. Dude, I love this Ponderosa. They're so much fun. I just love, like, Michelle's just like, Zeke, you want to do shots? And Zeke's like, of course I want to do shots. And they just start doing, like, it's Michelle the missionary, man. She's going crazy.
It's a great cast. It's a great cast.
Phenomenal. Jeff Steinberg, if Will is in the end, he won't win because who would give $1 million to high schooler? And Henry Alford responds with, college is expensive AF.
There you go.
It's very true. Point. Very good point. I think everybody our age knows that.
I pay for college, so I can be the best possible person that I can be.
Exactly. I like that you're really going for this. These Will impersonations. You just love yelling like him. Joe Pruss, would it think Jay is smart enough to realize that Will and Ken really don't have a chance to win and make a final three with them, so Jay is an easy runaway for the win?
I think Jay wants to sit with Will. I think Jay probably has that in his head. But if Will goes home, he's got to readjust, which that's what I think is going to happen. Who knows, though?
Henry Alford, this season has been so fun the whole time. I think Survivor is peaking again with 3 very strong seasons in a row. Yeah, hopefully next season can keep it going. Henry Alford again. The only problem with this season is the bad strategy that we keep seeing from a lot of players. Taylor is just oblivious to everything going on around him. The rock draw was incredibly stupid for everyone who drew rocks. For some reason, nobody's interested in voting out Jay, even though he is a huge immunity threat and insanely charming and likable. There's also been 2 wasted idols. Then there's Ken just being Ken. It's okay, though, because the cast is so great and the episodes keep delivering. I don't know if it's bad strategy.
Good point. No, there is a lot of that, but I think there's a lot of bad strategy because there's also so much good strategy that's forcing all this stuff to happen. There are people playing so hard that they're just like, I have to keep up. And when you are forced to play at this pace, then you make mistakes. And then you have Ken, which, again, he's just no game sense, can't win, won't win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just overthinking, causing each other to overthink. Zach Abrams, do you think that David and Ken will be at the final tribal council together? Ken has been saying that he will never break the connection with David, and at the very beginning of the season, they had a lot of scenes of David and Ken bonding. I could see that, and I could see Ken almost being like, yeah, I can't win, David wins. Not that he's actually going to say that, but like I could see him like almost arguing his way to that point.
Yeah, man, now that I think about it, David has had so much character stuff. And a lot of character stuff with people who are still remaining. So it's probably not as Jay's probably not as far ahead as I put it with my percentages, but I still am sticking with Jay. But it really, I think, comes down to one of them.
Mm-hmm. Henry Alford, I hope Will wins, even though I know he won't, for all the disrespected high schoolers out there. And Adam win would be awesome, too. That's funny. Easy own 3 things. 1, who from best to worst has the highest odds of winning? We'll do that before the finale predictions. If Jay and David are both in final tribal council, who wins? These are great questions for the finale predictions. But if they're both in there right now, I'm leaning David. Are you leaning David or are you leaning Jay?
I think you got to lean David just because of, I think, depends who that final person in the final 3 is. Like if Ken's there, that's someone not voting for David. Whereas if like Will is there, that's someone not voting for Jay. So I think that would actually play a role in it because right now it's pretty even on the jury. So,
yeah. And then number 3, in episode 8, Jay states that he's a former Ikabula tribe under his control and that he's the kingpin. This is proven wrong as he immediately blindsided and falls to a follower position under Zeke in the following episodes. Do you think them showing this scene is detrimental to Jay's chances? I don't think so.
It set up the underdog story, which he's been called. He's been called a lone wolf. He's been called an underdog. And when you have someone who has as many connections and alliances as he did heading into the merge, how do you paint them as an underdog? Well, you got to build them up first. And so that when they lose one tribe or one alliance member, Michelle, it seems like it's the end of the world. And then you can let him climb back up, and that's your narrative. If they don't set up that Jay in that way, it's not as a compelling story.
Yeah. Krebs Park, Will, how do you think Jay can destroy the solid alliance of Adam, Ken, David, and Hannah?
Play your idol.
Yeah,
one of them goes when you play your idol. Win immunity, and let's say they're the only people left. I could do that too. Adam wants to win. He wants to play hard. You think Adam is sitting there right now wanting to sit at the end with David? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. Jay can use that to his advantage. Jay's a player. There's a lot you can do when it's for $1 million. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah. Good points. Adam Heinrichs, my speculation for the legacy advantage, either an extra vote/vote steal or immunity challenge advantage. Idle clue. He gets to vote someone out, a little OP, auto immunity
OP
after the
is
first
overpowered,
vote.
Phil.
Okay. See, I didn't know that, and he keeps putting that, and like I don't really pay attention to like things like that, and I'm like sitting here and I'm like outplayed, like what? Or overplayed. I mean, overplayed was what I was thinking. I couldn't figure out.
Overpowered.
Okay, well, anyway, thanks for letting me know. But, I mean, they're not going to do something overpowered this late in the game. That would just come into effect on day 30.
Well, that's what I think what he might be saying is, honestly, and this is what I said from the beginning, anything that comes in at day 36 that's a little overpowered in itself, you know? I do think, though, it is going to be the immunity challenge advantage. That's what I think.
Let's see. Dragon Yell, did you see Hannah and Jay's plan in the secret scene?
No, I did not.
No, I didn't either.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah. All right, and then the last comment, and this is from Larry Miller on Twitter. He says, please read, Jay has absolutely no shot of winning. The reason Surfer Dudes cannot win. Sorry, 18-year-old Will.
Okay. Is he talking to me? I can't really tell.
I don't know.
I'm not 18 years old.
I just wanted to read that because he said, please read. There's no shot of Jay winning. So I just figure anytime we can read one of those just in case Jay does win, it feels good.
I love it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and sticking around. That was a long one, man, right? Or was it?
That was really long. We had a lot of comments because the last one got cut off.
Woo! Okay. Please comment if you have ideas for Kickstarter rewards, something that we could give in return so that when people donate, like I said, we already have like the extra points in the our fantasy games and buff, and you get to play. I think that's all we have so far. So any ideas for that would be great. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. We love getting subscribers; helps us out. And if you like if you could like the video too, that's always good. All you have to do is hit the little thumbs up button. Pretty easy to do. So we will see you Wednesday. Super stoked for this double boot episode. And yeah, loving this season. Phil, what do you got? Anything?
No, that's it. We'll see you Wednesday.
All right.